You are presented with a powerful collection of affirmations designed to ignite your inner strength and set you up for a positive and productive day. These 9 morning mantras are carefully crafted to empower you with confidence, resilience, and a sense of purpose. Are you ready to unlock your full potential? This video explores 9 powerful morning mantras that will ignite your inner strength, boost your confidence, and set you up for an amazing day. Let's dive in and discover the transformative power of positive affirmations. Number 1. The morning mindset determines the day's momentum. From the moment you open your eyes each morning, a silent force begins to shape the trajectory of your entire day. And that force is your mindset. The thoughts you allow in those first waking moments are not random. They are powerful indicators of how your inner world will respond to the outer world. When your first thoughts are anxious, scattered, or negative, you unknowingly set the tone for a day ruled by stress and reaction. But when you deliberately choose thoughts of clarity, strength, and purpose, you step into the driver's seat of your life with intention. This is why cultivating a positive morning mindset isn't just a feel-good practice. It's a vital ritual of self-leadership. Your mindset is like the software your brain runs all day long. If you program it with peace, gratitude, and confidence, every interaction, challenge, and opportunity you face will be filtered through that empowered lens. This is the moment where you get to tell your day how it will unfold, instead of letting the chaos of the world dictate it for you. Imagine your mind as a garden. What you plant in the morning will grow all day long. Plant fear, and you'll reap anxiety. Plant focus, and you'll harvest productivity. Plant self-love, and you'll carry a sense of grounded worth into every room you enter. The greatest athletes, entrepreneurs, spiritual teachers, and visionaries all have one thing in common. They own their morning mindset like it's sacred, because it is. That first hour of consciousness holds unmatched creative power. It's when your subconscious is still highly impressionable and your heart is most open to direction. Even 5 minutes of conscious stillness or mantra repetition can radically shift your physiology, calm your nervous system, and remind you of who you are and what you stand for before the world gets loud. And that's the key. The world will get loud. Notifications will buzz. Deadlines will loom. People will test your energy. But if your inner world is already aligned with strength, then you won't be easily shaken. You respond instead of react. You lead instead of chase. You create instead of survive. Choosing your morning mindset is one of the most radical acts of self-respect and power you can offer yourself. It's you saying, I'm not leaving my emotional state up to chance today. And over time, this morning practice doesn't just change your day, it transforms your identity. You begin to expect more from life, not because the world changed, but because you did. You become someone who lives with purpose, who doesn't get swept up by every storm, who knows their value the moment their feet hit the floor. That kind of inner foundation is what separates people who drift through life from those who design it. So the next time you wake up, before you scroll, before you speak, and before you move, breathe, be still, and declare with certainty, today begins with me, and I choose to rise. Number 2, rewire your brain, rebuild your reality. The way you speak to yourself each morning is more than motivational, it's neurological. Your brain is a complex network of electrical impulses and neural pathways that respond to repetition and belief. When you say something out loud like, I am powerful or I am capable, you're not just expressing a wish. You're reinforcing a signal that your brain begins to register as truth. This is the science of neuroplasticity. Your brain's ability to reshape itself based on what it hears, thinks, and repeats. The more frequently you affirm something positive, the more those affirmations start to physically alter your brain's wiring. Over time, these new thoughts begin to override old limiting beliefs that once ruled you silently from the background. Think of it like this. Every time you say, "I am not good enough," you dig a neural trench that your mind starts to walk daily. But each time you replace that phrase with, "I am more than enough," you begin to fill in that trench and create a new, elevated path. Eventually, your brain will default to confidence rather than self-doubt. This is why affirmations are not about magic. They are about rewiring your internal operating system. They're about consciously replacing fear-based thoughts with empowering ones until those become the foundation of how you think, act, and decide. It's like updating the software in your mind. What once was filled with bugs, blocks, and negative coding becomes optimized, sharper, and more aligned with the life you want to live. The transformation doesn't happen overnight, but it absolutely happens when practiced with intention and repetition. For example, people who consistently tell themselves, "I deserve success," begin to walk into rooms with greater posture, speak with more conviction, and take opportunities they previously hesitated to chase. Their external behavior starts to reflect their internal belief system. The repetition of affirmations isn't about wishful thinking. It's about building new grooves in the brain that carry new thoughts, which lead to new emotions, which lead to new actions, which lead to new outcomes. And that is how you rebuild your reality from the inside out. You don't have to wait for the world to change to feel powerful. You need to start by changing the narrative you're feeding your brain every day. The truth is, your reality is nothing more than a reflection of your dominant thoughts. So, if you want to see new results in your health, relationships, finances, or confidence, you must first start with new affirmations. This is why morning mantras are so crucial. They are the reset button, the reprogramming tool, and the first stroke in painting the masterpiece of your day. When you consistently feed your mind thoughts of strength, self-worth, and possibility, your brain responds by building a new version of you. One that no longer waits for external validation to feel whole, but one that knows deep within, "I am the architect of my life, and I hold the power to shape my world with every word I speak." Number 3. Why morning mantras unlock inner power. Morning mantras are not just poetic phrases whispered into the stillness of dawn. They are anchors of identity, power-charged reminders of who you truly are beneath the noise, chaos, and conditioning of the world. When you wake up, your mind is in a highly suggestible theta state, neither fully asleep nor fully alert, which makes it the most sacred and effective time to plant thoughts that take root deep within your subconscious. In this delicate mental space, the words you speak carry amplified influence over your emotions, behaviors, and sense of self. Morning mantras unlock your inner power because they create a ritual of deliberate self-alignment before the distractions of the day can hijack your energy. They are not simply motivational, they are calibrations. They tune your heart, mind, and spirit to the frequency of purpose, strength, and clarity. When you declare, "I am enough, I am unstoppable," or "I am grounded," you're not just stating an idea, you're accessing and activating a part of yourself that already knows this to be true. These declarations act like keys, unlocking the internal doors you've shut with years of fear, trauma, or doubt. Too often, we start our days on autopilot, grabbing our phones, reacting to notifications, scrolling through the noise of other people's lives, without realizing that we are surrendering our own narrative before we even begin writing it. Morning mantras reclaim that narrative. They put your voice back at the center of your consciousness. In a world that profits from your self-doubt and constantly bombards you with reasons to feel less than, mantras are how you remember your worth without needing external validation. They are how you step back into your own authority. The power of a morning mantra lies in its ability to shift your state instantly, mentally, emotionally, and even physiologically. Studies show that the body reacts to language. When you speak empowering words, your posture changes, your breathing deepens, and your mind relaxes into coherence. You're no longer fighting to feel powerful. You are powerful because you've chosen to embody that state. This is why people who practice daily mantras often describe feeling more focused, resilient, and emotionally balanced throughout their day. They face challenges not with panic, but with poise. They're not waiting for motivation to show up. They are generating it from within. Your inner power isn't something you acquire through effort. It's something you uncover by peeling away the mental clutter and emotional noise that blocks it. And morning mantras are the tool that allows this uncovering. They are gentle yet forceful, simple yet profound, spoken in stillness yet thunderous in impact. When you commit to the ritual of morning mantras, you're doing more than repeating words. You're forging a daily contract with your future self. You're saying, I will not let this world define me. I will define myself. And through this declaration, you reconnect with a part of you that is unshakable, limitless, and divinely equipped to handle whatever life brings your way. Number 4. Real stories, real strength. Behind every powerful affirmation is a human being who once felt powerless. And behind every morning mantra is a story of someone who decided to rewrite their life, one word at a time. These are not just abstract ideas or wishful thinking. They are real tools that have helped real people rise from rock bottom, confront inner demons, and rebuild lives once thought to be beyond repair. Number 5. Number 1, once thought to be beyond repair. Take for example, a young woman named Alina who struggled with crippling self-doubt and social anxiety. For years, she avoided eye contact, stayed silent in meetings, and refused to share her opinions, believing her voice held no value. But one morning, after reading an article on affirmations, she decided to try a simple mantra. I speak with confidence and clarity. It felt awkward at first, mechanical even, but she said it anyway every day for 30 days while looking at herself in the mirror. And then one day, without overthinking it, she raised her hand in a team meeting and shared an idea that landed her a promotion. What changed? Her belief system, rewired by the simple act of daily self-affirmation. Then, there's Marcus, a recovering addict who used morning mantras like, I am stronger than my urges, and I choose peace over escape to overcome the mental patterns that once controlled him. Every time he felt the temptation to fall back into old habits, he would pause, close his eyes, and repeat his mantra like a lifeline. Over time, it became second nature, a mental shield that reminded him of his progress and protected his future. Real people, real change. These aren't isolated stories. They are parents using affirmations to break generational cycles of trauma, teenagers repeating mantras to combat the daily pressures of self-picture, and entrepreneurs whispering words of worth to themselves in the mirror before facing the high-stakes stress of a business pitch. Even one mother, battling depression, began each day with the mantra, I am light even in darkness, and over months, it helped her climb out of a deep, emotional fog. These stories are proof that affirmations are not fluff, they are fuel. They serve as evidence that when you commit to the practice, when you speak with conviction, and when you dare to believe in your own healing and growth, something within begins to shift. These transformations did not happen overnight, nor did they happen through external changes alone. They happened because individuals made a choice to stop letting their past dictate their present. They chose to build a new narrative, and they used mantras as the bricks. It's powerful to witness how someone's entire demeanor, tone, and energy changes after a few weeks of consistent morning declarations. There's a glow, a grounded confidence that wasn't there before. These aren't just people repeating phrases. They are warriors in quiet battles, using their words to win their inner wars. So when you speak your mantras tomorrow morning, remember, you're not alone. And you're not just talking, you're testifying. You're standing in a legacy of people who turned their lives around, not because someone saved them, but because they saved themselves. One truth-filled phrase at a time. Number 5. Mantras that move mountains, that simply motivate, and then there are mantras that move mountains. Words so deeply charged with intention, emotion, and truth that they don't just uplift you, they realign your entire being with your highest potential. These mantras are not casual phrases. They are declarations of inner power, reminders of your divine identity, and calls to action that awaken strength in the face of fear. Take for example the mantra, I am capable of achieving anything I set my mind to. This is not wishful thinking. It's a daily reminder that your thoughts shape your reality, and that nothing external holds the key to your future more than your belief in yourself. When this mantra is spoken consistently, it pushes against years of conditioning that told you to doubt yourself, to shrink, to settle. Is the voice of the higher self rising above the noise of mediocrity and limitation, declaring that the only ceiling that exists is the one you place over your own head. Then there's the mantra, I am strong, resilient, and capable of overcoming any challenge. This one doesn't ignore pain or struggle. It meets it head-on, not with denial, but with resolve. It becomes a lifeline during the storm, a mental armor that keeps you grounded when life tries to shake you loose. Every time you speak this affirmation, you're not just surviving hardship. You're telling your nervous system, we've got this, and reinforcing that you have already overcome so much and have every reason to believe you can do it again. It rewrites the story of helplessness into one of empowerment. And finally, the mantra, I am worthy of love, happiness, and success, perhaps the most transformation of all. This affirmation addresses the silent epidemic of self-doubt and unworthiness that plagues even the most externally successful people. When you say these words daily, you slowly dismantle the false belief that you need to earn love or prove your value. You stop chasing validation and start standing in the unshakable knowing that you are enough, not because of what you do, but because of who you are. This mantra brings you back home to yourself. These 3 mantras, when spoken with presence and belief, become catalysts for transformation. They reshape your posture, alter your tone of voice, influence your decisions, and eventually become the default thoughts that govern your life. The beauty of these mantras is their simplicity. They are not complex poems or elaborate scripts. They are accessible to everyone, anywhere, anytime. Yet behind that simplicity lies immense power. Like a river that slowly carves through rock, daily repetition of these mantras can move the mountains of fear, shame, procrastination, and limiting beliefs that block your path. They aren't just motivational, they are medicine. They are mirrors and they are maps to a version of yourself that is already whole, already worthy, and already more than enough. When spoken with heart, mantras don't just inspire you, they activate you. They remind you that the greatest force in your life isn't outside of you. It's the fire you choose to ignite every single morning with the words, I am. Number 6, simple daily rituals, profound daily shifts. In a world obsessed with quick fixes, grand gestures, and overnight success, we often overlook the quiet, consistent power of small daily rituals. Yet it is these simple practices, repeated with purpose, that create the most profound shifts in our mindset, emotional state, and life direction. Morning mantras fall into this sacred category of daily rituals that may seem minor on the surface but carry life-changing depth when practiced with intention. Imagine waking up, not reaching for your phone, but instead taking 2 minutes to place your hand on your heart, close your eyes, and say, I am grounded, I am safe, I am ready. That moment, so small in the grand scheme of your day, has the power to center you emotionally, quiet your racing mind, and reconnect you with your deeper self before the noise of the world floods in. Incorporating mantras into your daily routine doesn't require you to be a monk or motivational speaker. It requires only consistency, presence, and belief. Write your favorite affirmations on sticky notes and place them on your mirror, your fridge, or your computer screen. Let your environment remind you of your power. Speak your mantra aloud while brushing your teeth, making your coffee, or during your commute. Habits you already do every day become vehicles for transformation when paired with purpose. Set an alarm labeled with your affirmation, so when it goes off, you're reminded to pause, breathe, and realign. Use an affirmation app that sends you a push notification every few hours. Micro moments of reconnection to your inner strength. None of these practices take more than a few seconds, but when stacked daily, they compound like interest in the bank of your soul. These small, deliberate acts of self-affirmation begin to shift how you speak, walk, decide, and show up in the world. You'll notice that by the 3rd week, you're no longer just saying the words, you're living them. Your brain, which once defaulted to fear or hesitation, now automatically leans toward courage and clarity. You begin to walk into situations with calm confidence, not because circumstances have changed, but because you have. This is the magic of ritual. It transforms the mundane into the meaningful. What once felt like a rushed, robotic morning becomes a sacred ceremony of self-remembrance. You are no longer just reacting to the day, you are creating it. This shift is what separates people who feel lost and powerless from those who feel rooted and in command of their reality. The external world may remain chaotic, but your inner world becomes a steady sanctuary. So don't underestimate the power of a sticky note, a whispered phrase, or a 1-minute mantra session. These small actions, repeated day after day, are how you rewire your beliefs, refocus your energy, and reshape your life. Profound transformation doesn't always arrive with lightning and thunder. It often tiptoes in through the back door of simple rituals practiced with devotion. Your daily routine is your spiritual training ground. Treat it like a temple and watch how even your most ordinary days begin to feel extraordinary. Number 7. Consistency is the hidden superpower. In a world driven by instant gratification and quick wins, we often underestimate the quiet, unglamorous force that truly transforms lives. Consistency. It doesn't roar, it doesn't boast, but it is the most powerful superpower you possess when it comes to rewiring your mindset, building habits, and manifesting your inner strength through daily affirmations. Consistency is what turns a simple morning mantra from empty words into a foundational belief system. When you say, I am strong or I am worthy, once or twice it might feel good in the moment, but it won't work when you say I am strong or I am worthy. Once or twice it might feel good in the moment, but your subconscious, trained by years of negative conditioning, won't yet believe it. But when you repeat those words daily, without fail, no matter how you feel or what chaos surrounds you, something magical begins to unfold beneath the surface. You begin to override the limiting beliefs etched into your neural circuits. You start to form new emotional pathways, rooted in confidence, peace, and resilience. The mind, just like the body, is shaped through repetition, not effort alone. Just as a single workout won't give you strength, a single affirmation won't rewire your self-perception. It is the daily discipline, the small act of showing up every morning, reciting your mantras with intention, that chips away at self-doubt and forges unshakable belief. That's where real growth lives, not in intensity, but in constancy. Consistency builds trust within yourself. When you commit to a ritual and follow through, even on the hard days, you silently tell yourself, I am dependable, I follow through. The night can be counted on. This builds inner integrity, the very backbone of confidence. It also silences the voice of procrastination and perfectionism, the one that says you have to feel ready or you must be perfect to begin. With consistency, you realize you don't have to feel ready to show up. You just have to show up. And slowly, the act of showing up becomes who you are. Over time, you look back and realize that you're no longer repeating affirmations because you want to believe them. You repeat them because now you do. They've become embedded in your self-picture, governing your choices, shaping your reactions, and guiding your goals. What once felt like forced repetition has now become the truth of your identity. This is why consistency is such a hidden superpower. It works in the background, silently stacking victories, while the conscious mind is still catching up. It doesn't need applause. It doesn't need the spotlight. It only needs your commitment. And even when progress feels invisible, consistency is the quiet architect, laying the bricks of transformation beneath your feet. So, when motivation fades, and it will, let your rituals carry you. When emotions fluctuate, and they will, let your consistency anchor you. Don't worry about how far you have to go. Focus only on showing up today, then tomorrow, then the day after that. Because what separates the people who change their lives from those who only wish they could is not talent or timing. It's the decision to stay consistent long enough for the work to become reality. Keep repeating, keep rising, because the moment you choose consistency, you activate the superpower that builds unbreakable strength from the inside out. Number 8, use them throughout the day, not just in the morning. While morning mantras provide a powerful launchpad into your day, their true transformative potential unfolds when you carry them with you beyond the sunrise. When you allow these affirmations to echo through the moments of doubt, the chaos of stress, and the silence of solitude. Too often, we treat affirmations like a one-time ritual, something we do in the comfort of morning stillness, only to let them fade as the demands of daily life crash in. But life doesn't just challenge us in the morning, it challenges us at noon, at 3 p.m. when stress peaks, at 6 p.m. when self-doubt whispers, and at midnight when the mind starts racing with fear. That's why your mantras must become portable power tools, readily available for any moment you feel your strength slipping or your peace being tested. When you say, I am calm, not just at sunrise, but also in the middle of a traffic jam or I am focused before walking into a high-stakes meeting, or I am loved when loneliness strikes. You're not just repeating words, you're recentering your entire being. These midday affirmations act like emotional reset buttons, helping you return to a grounded state no matter what storms arise. By embedding your mantras into your daily rhythm, you stop reacting to life and start responding with intention. The practice can be as subtle or as bold as you need it to be. Whisper your affirmation under your breath before a difficult phone call. Write it in the corner of your notebook before a test. Set it as a lock screen on your phone or wear it on a bracelet. Use voice memos to record your own affirmations and play them during your commute. These small, intentional moments are how you train your brain to stay aligned with your inner truth, even when the outer world feels out of control. This continuous reinforcement helps prevent you from slipping back into default modes of fear, insecurity, or overwhelm. Because, let's be honest, motivation is fleeting, but maintenance is mastery. And the best way to maintain an empowered mindset is through repetition and reinforcement. When you treat your affirmations like mental vitamins, dosed consistently throughout the day, you build emotional immunity. Your confidence no longer rises and falls with your circumstances because you've trained it to be independent of outcomes. Over time, this habit doesn't just affect how you feel, it changes how you live. You find yourself more patient in conflict, more resilient in failure, and more gracious with yourself during setbacks. You'll no longer be at the mercy of external validation because you've built an internal source of strength that speaks louder than any critic. The truth is, affirmations are not just morning motivation, they are daily anchors. They remind you who you are, whose you are, and what you are capable of at any moment. So don't confine your mantras to the morning light. Carry them into your lunch breaks, your deadlines, your tears, your celebrations. Use them not just when it's easy, but especially when it's hard. Because that's when you need them most. And that's when they do their greatest work. Number 9, you are the proof. Now share your power. There comes a time in every journey of transformation when the inner work you've done is no longer just a private victory. It becomes a living, breathing testimony for others to witness, be inspired by, and draw strength from. That time is now, and you are the proof. You are the evidence that change is possible, that healing is real, and that morning mantras are more than just words. They are lifelines, they are armor, they are seeds of light planted in darkness. Every moment you've chosen to rise instead of retreat, to speak affirmations over your life instead of allowing the echo of self-doubt to win, you've created a ripple effect that extends far beyond yourself. And now you hold the power to pay that forward, not through preaching, but through presence. You are walking proof that consistency, intention, and the quiet repetition of truth can change the direction of a life. Maybe you didn't realize it, but your story, the struggles you overcame, the breakthroughs you created, the mornings you whispered, "I am enough" through tears, is sacred. It is a gift, and someone out there is waiting for it. Sometimes we don't even know what to say. We just say it because we don't want to be the ones who stop the meeting. We don't want to lose the sacred power. It is a gift, and someone out there is waiting for it. The same law is at play. The same unknown is at birth. The same sense of loss is at presence. The same unknown is at present. They are standing where you once stood, silently battling fears that feel impossible to escape, and your voice your experience, your example may be the thing that pulls them forward. Sharing your story doesn't mean you have it all figured out. It means you've dared to begin. It means you've honored your own path enough to help light the way for someone else, whether it's in the comment section of a video, a conversation with a friend, or a post on social media. When you share the mantras that moved you, you pass on power. You become a mirror for others to see, their own potential reflected. You help normalize self-love, emotional healing, and personal transformation in a world that often hides behind filters and perfection. Let them know it's okay to start shaky. It's okay if the words feel fake at first. It's okay if you don't fully believe them yet, because you didn't either. But you showed up, and eventually the words became real. That truth has value. That vulnerability is strength. You don't need a stage or spotlight to make an impact. You only need the courage